Hey, welcome back to the channel. So today we have Training Montage version 2 by Noon. So there must be another previous version of this one that maybe we'll go back and look at. Let's see what this one, I hadn't seen it. So I just was looking through the list and I saw this one look kind of interesting. So maybe we'll go back and try the other one if we get through this one and see how it works. But let's get into our rules and get started. I don't really have any thing to talk about prior to that, so let's get into it. Standard Sudoku rules apply. So every row, every column, and every 3x3 box contains the digits 1 through 9 once each. Now, the only other rule we have is killer cages. So digits in cages do not repeat and sum to the number in the cage's upper left corner. And there we go. Those are our rules for Training Montage version 2 by Noon. Let's just get into this one and see what we can figure out. Now, what do we have here? We've got a couple of things we can start looking at. We've got a 4 cage. Well, there's only one way that a 4 cage works with 2 digits, 1, 3. We've got an 8 cage here, so we know, and it's a 3-cell 8 cage, so we know there has to be a 1 in them, which creates an X-wing. And as we all know, X-wings, if we have a 1 here, we'd have a 1 here. None of these can be 1. If we have a 1 here and 1 there, none of these can be 1. So the point is that these can never be 1s if we have the 1s in an X-wing formation is what it's called. So therefore, none of these can be 1s. It just means that one of these is. Now, we've got some large killer cages here. What are these? These are 6, 8 digits in size. So essentially what that means is we have every digit, because you can't repeat a digit in a killer cage. We have every digit from 1 to 9 except for 1 digit. Now we know that the digits 1 through 9, if they're added together, equal up to 45. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, you add them all together to get 45. So what does that mean? Well, it means that in this cage, we have 8 of those 9 digits, but we're only adding up to 39. So we need a digit that gets us to 45 that isn't in here. And that digit would therefore be a 6. Now, if we know there is no 6 in this cage, we know every other digit must be in the cage. That tells us that there has to be a 1 in the cage somewhere. Now, because we have this X-wing on 1s, we know none of these are 1s. And since we have a 1 in this region, region 8, none of these can be 1s, so therefore one of these has to be a 1, so we can remove that as an option. Clearly that's not a huge deduction, but it's a little bit of something that we can use. Now, we can do something similar maybe with this 41 cage, because we know as well that we have 8 cells in this cage. We know 9 cells would equal up to 45. We are missing 1 digit from here to equal us to 45, and since this is a 41 cage, that's 1 cell that's missing must be a 4. Now, we cannot put a 4 in any of these cells like we just said. We also can't put a 4 in a 2-cell 8 cage, because if you put a single 4 in there, you'd have to put another 4 in there and you break the cage. So this ends up being a 4. Now, that's fairly, well, I don't know. It's a digit. It's not a super useful digit at this point. What does that tell us, though? I mean, it tells us this 12 can't be an 8-4, but that's not all that great, because we can still do 9-3 or 7-5. We can't really say what this 8 is. We know that none of these are 4s, but we can't necessarily say that there's a 4 in this cage. It would be a 9-4 if it was. Can we ever remove the possibility of a 4, let's say, in this 21 cage? And the answer is no, because it could be 9-8-4. Okay, so that's not going to get us where we want to go. Now, I guess another thing we could kind of maybe look at is we have a 41 cage that does not have a 4 in it, but it has every other possible digit. We also know that this 8 killer cage has 2 digits equal up to 8, and clearly there's not a 4 in there. So somewhere in this 41 cage, there must be the same digits that are seen here. Now, the only place, obviously, that you could do that would be here. So these 2 digits are the same sets of digits. Now, that does tell us something, because we have this 1, 3, 4, it's a 1, 3 pair that equals up to 4 is staring directly into this green cage. So that means that this green cage has to equal 8, because it has to be the same digits over here, and it can't use 7, 1, or 5, 3. Now, it can't use 7, 1, or 5, 3, and clearly it can't have a 4 in it. The only other option would be a 6, 2. So this has to be 6, 2. In fact, both of these have to be 6, 2. So we've got a little bit of information now. Now, can we use anything here now? Because we've got a 2, 4, and a 6 all looking into this 8 cage. Now, it tells us we do have to have the 1 in this column of this 8 cage. Because if we didn't have the 1 here, the bare minimum of these 2 digits, because of these, would be 3 and 5. And therefore, that would already be 8. So it breaks. So this 1, we can remove the 1 from it. Now, can we do anything further with that? And I think we can, because we know the bare minimum of these are 1 and 3. If they are 1 and 3, that would be 4, and this would have to be a 4. Another option would, this could be a 1 and a 5, which is 6, so this would have to be a 2. And there are no other options, because the next step up would be 1 and 7, that would already be 8. So it just tells us this is from 2 or 4. Okay. Again, it's not giving us a lot, so maybe it's not that place we're supposed to be looking. Now, these 13 cages, or maybe we can start looking at a 2, 6 pair that we have in this row. I don't know how useful that's going to be. The other thing, like I said, I was looking at was the 13 cages. We know they can't be a 7, 6 because we have a 6 looking at both of them. But that still leaves 9, 4, or 8, 5, which we don't have a way to remove those options at this point. Maybe there was something more we could do with this 39 cage, because we said there can't be a 6. Okay, I guess that's where we are. I had started the logic here, and I went up here, and I didn't come back to this logic. So we know there can't be a 6 in this cage, because we know it's digits, 8 different digits that equal to 39. One of them is not 6. So there can never be a 6 in any of these cells, and there can't be a 6 in this 12 cage, because you'd have to have 6 and 6. So this is 6. And then what do we know? And do we know anything? Well, I think what we're going to know is the same thing we found up here, is that these 2 digits have to somehow appear in this 39 cage, but clearly they can't be in any of these. So these are the same digits, whatever they may be. Now, how did I determine what those were? These could be, okay, so that's something at least. So what can these be? Well, normally a 12 could be 9, 3, but this can't be a 9, 3 pair because we have a 3 here. Although that still leaves 8, 4, and 7, 5, and neither one of those appears. I'm going to put those in for a second. Neither one of those appears to be an issue. But does it somehow now interact with this 12 cage? Because this 12 cage We know we got a 12 cage here. We know we got a 12 cage here because these are equal, which is 24 total. And this is another 4, so it's 28. So we have to have 17 more in these 3 digits, which doesn't do much, but this 6 does actually look in here. And we know none of these can be 6, so this is a 6. That was the more easier way to go about it. So there's no 6 in any of these. That's not a 6, and that's not a 6, so this is a 6. Okay, so the 6s are propagating. Now, we know none of these are 6s. We know none of these are 6s. I think we can cancel out a 6 in this 9 cage because it could be 6, 3, which is perfectly fine. There's no 6s in any of these because we said we had a 2, 6 pair. I don't think, well, this can't be a 6 because it would have to be a 2, 6 pair as well, and then that would break this. But I can't rule out 6 in any of these. Maybe there's now a correlation between these and this 13 cage. Maybe one of these options is not really an option. So let's just type them in so that we see them visually. We can do 9, 4, and we can do 8, 5. We can't do 7, 6. So what were these? The possibilities here was 8, 4, and 5, 7. So we can't do an 8, 4. 8, 4 equals 12, so that's what we're looking at. 8, 4, and 7, 5 were the options for these two things. Now, if we were to put an 8, 4 in here, that would remove 8 and 4 in here and leave only 9 and 5, which therefore would be 14, which breaks the puzzle. So these cannot be 8, 4. And they are 5, 7, so therefore this is not 5, 8, and that is a 4, 9. Okay. Now, can we do anything with this 9? Because the 5, 7, 4, 9 are all pointing at it. The only ways to make 9 in 2 digits are 8, 1, 7, 2, which we can't do, and 6, 3. So no, we still have, 5, 4 is the other option, sorry, but that obviously can't work. So we haven't ruled out those quite yet. Okay, so what's next on the list? And it might be, we might keep kind of juggling between options for some of these things. So like this 13 now, we know it's not 7, 6, so the other options were 8, 4, 8, 4, 9, 4, and 8, 5. No, that doesn't look like it's going to give us much use on this one just yet. Yeah, it doesn't. Okay. Now, is there anything further on this 8 we could have done? What were our options again? Because I've forgotten. We could have had, what could have we had? 1, 3. Sorry, I'm trying to remember now. 1, 3, which is 4, so this would be 4. Or 1, 5, which would leave this as 2. Okay. So let's just put those in again. Maybe that correlates to this 12 in some fashion. So it was 1, 3, or 1, 5. The 12 cannot be 9. Well, it could be 9, 3, sorry. 9, 3 is an option. 8, 4 is not an option. And 7, 5 would be the other option. 9, 3, or 7, 5. Yeah, I don't see how that's going to be useful, but I do see something here. This 5, 7 does rule out this from being a 5. And if that can't be a 5, does that mean anything? No, it doesn't. But we do have a 1, 3 pair now. So let's look at this row and see if there's anything there that helps us. 2 can't go here. And maybe it's just as simple as looking at what this can be, because it can't be 9, 6 anymore. Yeah, I think I didn't even see this 15 cage here for a second until I started looking at this row. So this 15 cage can't be 9, 6. So there's only one other option it could possibly be, which is 8, 7. Now there's a 5, 7 looking at it. So this is 8 and this is 7. Now that gives us our, nope, stop doing that, mouse. 5, 7, 5, and 7. Okay. That didn't clear any of the other stuff up yet, but we're still moving. So can we figure what these are? These are 2, 4, and 9. No, none of those are removing themselves from the equation, it seems. I can't remove 9 from here just yet, which is what I was hoping to do so that I could put a 9 in both of these, but that's not working. Now, how about this 12? This might be a good way to look at it. Now, we can't do 9, 3 because of this 3 here. We can't do, well, we can do 8, 4, sorry, but we can't do 7, 5. So this has to be 8, 4. Just make sure I didn't mess up some easy math there. Can't be 9, 3. It could be 8, 4. It cannot be 7, 5, and then clearly it can't be 6, 6. So yes, this is a 4, 8 pair, which is going to tell us that this is a 2. Now, if this is a 2, we have to get 6 in here, which means it's a 1, 5 pair, and this is 5 and 1. And that's going to give us our 3 and our 1. Now, we know these two digits are from 3 and 9. Nothing looking at those just yet. These 3 digits, let's put those in, because it might give us something with this 12 over here. We've got 3, 4, and 9. Now, this can't be 3. This can't be 4. So this just is a 3, 9 pair. Because if this is either 3 or 9, this has to be either 3 or 9 as well to correlate. So it gives us these two, which is 7 and 8. Now we know we have to have a 4 in one of these. What's a 4 over here? But I don't really like denoting a 3 cell unless it's, I'm struggling some other way to figure that out. All right, so we've got these 2 digits now, at least, that have to be from 2 and 9. Okay, just didn't get to that point yet. So this has to be 3 and 9. And therefore, this is not 3. Now, the 2, 6 is looking here. So we've got 9 and 2. The 9 is looking here, so we can get rid of 9, 4. We know this is a 5, 8 pair now, so this can't be 8, 1, which means this is 3, 6. That 4, 9 is looking down here, so we get 8 and 4. The 9 is looking back over, so 4 and 9. And we can just type these 2 digits, or these 4 digits in as to what their options are. We've got 2 and 4, and we've got 1 and 8. And nothing is specifically saying which ones of those have to be exactly what. Now we can look at these 4, because they're limited now to 2 different digits. Maybe we'll get something out of that. We need a 1 and a 2 left in this column. 2 can't go here, so it must go here, 2 and 1. That doesn't see anything yet. That's okay. These 2 digits, we need to have, what, 4 and 7? This can't be 4, so it is 7, and this is 4. All right, still nothing cross-referencing just yet, but that's okay. We could say one of these has to be 7. I guess I'll type that in for now, just by basic Sudoku, ruling out all of these other ones. I don't know that I want to leap into straight Sudoku just yet, so I might hold off in terms of just referencing those sorts of things. I'm sure we'll get right back to it because it looks like we're going to have to here. Now, can we start using these digits that we have given now to rule out some things for our 12? Well, we know the possibilities are 9, 3, 8, 4, and 7, 5. And all we've really, well, no, we've removed the 8, 4 because we've put in 4s now. So this cannot be 4, 8. So we do have a 3, 9 pair. Good. And, well, no, we don't know that that can't be a 9. what did we say? The lowest we could possibly put in this 21 cage was a 4, I believe that was correct. So you can't put 1, 2, or 3. Or if you did 9, 8, you could, that would be 17, so you could put a 4. So these two digits, what are their possibilities? They can't be 1, 2, because we just said they can't go into a 21 cage. They can't be 3. I just pointed at the screen, but you guys can't figure that out. There has to be a 3 in here, so these can't have a 3. They can't have 5, 6, or 7, or a 9 in them. So the only options here right now are 4 and 8. And I just want to make sure it's correct. It is, because we can't have 1 or 2. Now, looking down here, these have to be 1 and 2, and we have a 2 looking at them. So we can put our 1 and our 2. Now, if we know these are 4 and 8, that is 12. So therefore, this must be a 9, and that's going to give us a bunch of numbers now, because that 9 sees a few things. And that 4 now opens this back up to an 8 and a 4. We still don't have anything cross-referencing over here just yet. This 8, what do we have here? It could be a 7, 1, and it could be a 6, 2. It can't be the 5, 3. It's the only thing that's been ruled out. But maybe we should use this row. It might be a little bit more useful, because we can't use 2 or 6 in this one. So it could be 1, can't be 2, it could be 3, can't be 4, and it can't be, well, that can't be 3, sorry, there's a 3 already here. It can't be 4 because of this. If this was a 5, this would have to be a 3, which breaks this, so it can't be that. This can't be 6 because of that pair that we just saw there. So this could be 7. And then those are the only options. Now, if those are the only options, 1 and 7, this has to be 1 and 7 to create the 8. And we've got the 1 looking at it, so we get 7 and 1. And that 7, 1 there is going to finish off our little markings here that we made previously. Okay, we are still moving. Let's take a look at this row now, because we've got limited possibilities again. So let's just write them in. We got 3, 5, and 8. Well, we don't have to write them in. This can't be 3 or 8, so therefore it has to be 5. And I just saw down here, looking here, we can put our 3 and our 9 in. Now, the last two digits we said that could go here are 3 and 8, correct? And there's an 8 here, so this has to be 3 and this has to be 8. We've got 2 digits left here, 2 and 6. Neither is looking at anything, but we do end up with some pairs in the rows. So these 2 digits have to be from 3 and 5. There's a 3 looking at this, so this is 5 and 3. Now we're going to know what these couple of digits are, and hopefully one of these down here is going to tell us which one is which. This has to have a 1 and a 5 in it. That one didn't do it. This one has to have an 8 and a 9, and that does help us. So this has to be 8, and this has to be 9. Where else? Let's try to finish the clues here before we delve more into this. So this can't be 9, 2, and it can't be 7, 4. It could still be 8, 3, I think. Is that correct? I think so. And 6, 5 would be the other option. Yeah. So that's not all that useful. That's not 5, so that's not 6. That's not 3, so that's not 8. And no, it didn't turn out to be all that useful here. I thought I might end up with a double or a triple somewhere along this line, but it has not done that. Maybe we should look further at this row, though, because we need a 1 still. There's nothing ruling it out. We need a 2 still. 2 can't go in any of these, so or any of these. That 2 looks up here, so this is 2. We said the 3 has to go in there. We know that. The 4 is already here. The 5 has to go in. The 6 has to go in 7 and 8. So I don't think we can look further. Maybe we should just look at these 3 digits and maybe there's something cross-referencing there. So we still need to have a 1. So the 1 is in one of those two. We need to have the 7 and the 9. So the 9s are looking at both these, so this has to be 9, which means that is 1. And then therefore this has to be 7. Easy peasy. And so it looks like we've got all our options kind of figured. So maybe we just now need to start looking at our Sudoku just to try to finish things off. We've got a 1 in here somewhere. The 2s aren't really looking at anything just yet. How about our 3s? Not really. 4. One of these, but that's not helpful. How about our 5? Again, not so much. 6s. Might have to go back to some other way of looking at these, because so far this doesn't appear all that helpful. Well, no, we got something now, the 7s. Just couldn't see it until I started going down the list, so there's no 7s in any of these, so this has to be 7. Which is going to break this open to 8 and 7. And that 8's going to give us our 5 and our 8. And are we done with our 7s now? It looks like we are. We might be there with our 8s as well. Yes, because we're going to see with these two 8s here, we can't put an 8 in any of these, so this has to be 8. And that's going to force the 1 and the 8 here, and we're going to have our 3 here to finish our 11, which is going to give us our 6 and our 3. Okay, what are we left with? This one's a given. It is a 5, so that's going to give us our 1 and our 5. What else? What about these 3 here? We said the 1 has to be over here. We now have to have a 4, which can't go here, but it could go in 2 places. And the last digit we need is a 6. And the 6 can still go in 2 places, so that's not doing it for us. Let's do these sets, because we've got these columns set down to only 2 possibilities left for each of them. So we've got, well, that 1 right there. I just saw that now. So let's just do that. And we're going to have a given here. This is 4. These have to be from 3 and 6. So there's a 3 here. So that's 6 and 3. There we go. This is going to break it out now, I think, and finalize it. This has to be a 4. So it's going to give us our 2 and our 4. And therefore our 6 and our 2. 6, 2, 6, 2. And we've got 2 digits left that are givens. This is 5, and this is 6. And there we go. Looks good as far as I can tell. So that was a good one. It was a good training exercise in terms of how to look at some of these puzzles, which I think the titling is very apt for that. Because just grasping the concepts of some mathematical requirements in terms of an 8-cell killer cage where things can't repeat, that kind of winds down what can and cannot go into them, et cetera, et cetera. And then you can start using those givens to help determine some other options or reducing options from the other ones. So anyway, hope you all enjoyed that one. Thank you, Noon, for creating that puzzle. Excellent. I may go back and try to find your other ones. If there might be, I'm sure there's a 1 because you have a V2 here. If there's maybe, there might be 3s and 4s. Who knows? I haven't quite gotten up to the most latest of puzzles that are out there yet because I've got a big backlog of stuff I'm trying to do. But anyway, thank you very much for that puzzle. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks. Bye.